It's time for Media Watch now. James Creedon is with us in the studio. Hello there, James. And we are, of course, talking about the departure of Rex Tillerson, sacked via Twitter, as has become the norm at this White House. And it's become hashtag Rexit.
Oh, God, predictably, right? Because if there isn't an exit hashtag du jour, then we're not in 2018? It's 2018, right? Anyway, here are the hashtags.
Last time I looked.
Yeah. Just remember, the White House is not in chaos. Hashtag Rexit. So that's sort of the tone of some of what we're seeing on social media. And so a lot of people really sort of poking fun. This is well, President Trump.
5 senior members have left the White House in 2 weeks.
It's kind of extraordinary.
Revolving door.
Revolving
Makes
door.
The Apprentice look...
It's a conveyor belt that leads to a revolving door that leads to tragedy. President Trump would like you to know that even though he's fired Tillerson to replace with Pompeo, has lost a ridiculous amount of staff over the course of 30 months, his administration is running like a fine-tuned, well-oiled machine. So look, there's a lot of this on social media right now. That's
if you had that kind of turnover at a private company, I'm guessing that there would be some questions asked.
There would be concern, but on a reality TV show, it gets good ratings.
Yes,
so,
that's true.
So what is the priority? Who knows? Now, that lessiveuse means basically what we just saw on that previous image, a kind of a spinning washing machine type image. So that image is coming back. It's in a headline in the French paper of record. It's also on kind of completely tongue-in-cheek tweets on social media. Even the Huffington Post went for a Rex-inspired wordplay in their headlines: surexposé, overexposed. So overexposed to what? To the wrath and of the president, or just to differing points of view on policy? Because actually there is a lot of analysis too of what was behind this, what were the different
There's a lot of conspiracy theories going around about why he was let go.
And there was some coverage earlier in the month from, originally the BBC picked up elsewhere, that the United Arab Emirates might have been pushing for this, for backing Qatar.
Putin.
Yeah, Putin. There's a lot of kind of theories going on.
Speculation.
And I'll leave that to the experts.
But Trump says basically they didn't get on and they disagreed over several issues, including the Iran nuclear deal.
Right, and perhaps North Korea as well, which of course does seem now to be a priority of President Trump, so might explain.
And you've been looking specifically at an article in Politico.
Yes, well, I think this headline is pretty striking. They're being a little bit tongue-in-cheek, I think, with this. There's a new Secretary of State. Who cares? Sorry, Washington, the world doesn't need you anymore. Now, what they're essentially saying here is, once upon a time, not very long ago, Washington sneezed and the world sort of, kind of, what would you say, reacted to that. If America's leadership wobbles, so too does that of the world. But what if the opposite is true? What if the world is capably transitioning from unipolarity to multipolarity, and essentially new structures are being put in place and the US role is diminished?
Well, I think that's partly down to the fact that Trump constantly undermined the office of the Secretary of State and took decisions over his head and contradicted him and just basically undermined him all the time. He himself has demeaned the office, hasn't he?
Right. He hasn't allowed, I suppose, any of his, or very few at least, of his deputies or delegates to
it looks like there's
real power.
One man is making decisions in the White House.
That's right. Now, what else do we have? Trump supporters online are justifying the decision. They're saying Tillerson had to go. He was wrong on the terrible Obama-Iran deal, wrong on the Paris Accord, wrong on Jerusalem, wrong on North Korea. So this is kind of straight out of Donald Trump's, I suppose, talking points. It was good to bring in an outsider, but Rex was too establishment for the Make America Great Again agenda. Ian Bremmer, for his part, political scientist in the US, says that Tillerson was an important voice of sanity on various different issues around Russia, China, and that there will be fewer people now keeping Trump from doing stupid and reckless things on the global stage. That's another point of view we're hearing.
Because Mike Pompeo is not expected to be one of those people, is he?
Right.
I something of a yes man.
Yes man, indeed. So there is a lot on social media kind of trying to figure out what this is going to mean going forward in terms of counterbalances to Trump within his own administration. Trump confirms he did not consult his Secretary of State on the decision to talk to North Korea. No, I really didn't discuss it very much with him. Honestly, I make the decision by myself. So the manner in which all of this happened is also generating quite a bit of intrigue.
Right, Tillerson's gone back to his private life, he says. You can imagine how demoralised he must feel.
Right, and certainly what his spokesperson was coming out and saying was somewhat indicating really that this happened in kind of an unexpected manner. That the Secretary of State did not speak to the President and is unaware of the reason for the decision. He's grateful for the opportunity to serve. It did also...
that guy's been fired now.
That's right. He left as well. And it didn't escape those who were commenting on the day's events on social media the fact that Tillerson didn't thank Trump for appointing him or praise Trump's leadership in his statement.
And I believe he's the first Secretary of State to be fired since 1945.
Gosh, well, that's a new first. A new first.
All right.
There's a couple of cartoons. Do we have time for them?
Just one, very quickly.
Well,
really
this is the New Yorker. It lets you hold the president's attention for a few extra seconds before he wants to change channels. Apparently, Rex Tillerson forgot to wear his TV frame there, his portable TV frame.
And I think calling the president a moron helped.
It probably didn't.
Anyway, James, thank you very much indeed. James Creedon there with Media Watch. Now,